Good morning, everyone. It is Jono and Pete from the Niners DNA team. A little bit late tonight. It's 9:40 p.m. in Sydney town, which means it's about 3:40 a.m. in San Francisco. So you'll have a nice little video to wake up to in the morning. It's Wednesday our time, so tomorrow we're going to get the first press conference from Kyle Shanahan, and we're going to hear some injury updates, aren't we, Jono? And then we'll find out a little bit more about what hopefully hopefully what's happening for the week ahead in terms of who's looking good and who's looking not good to play. How are you, John? Are you good, mate?
Yeah, good. All's going well. Looking forward to turn the page on last week, and let's look at the Rams week.
Yeah, 100%. It's always Rams week is always a good week. It comes up when we need it to, and look, we can beat them, and we've got our man CMC back in the building for a lot longer. So hopefully the playbook is more in his head.
I always get worried. I think I've listened to and read a lot across the week about this Rams week being like this. It seems to be the medicine that we need when we're feeling not so good, that we'll just take it and it will be good. And I just want to tread cautiously to make sure that that's not a foregone conclusion that we think that we can get a W.
That's the thing.
I think there'll be some hard coaching this week on the basics of the game and the basics around individual player assignments, which I think were a big cause for the loss last week.
I cannot agree more. And I think the other thing that you put it on the chat today, on our Niners chat, that there was a roster spot open up. Tevin Coleman, see you later. Hopefully Jason Verrett is back from PUP, the player, the PUP list, so he can take a 53-man roster spot. The other thing I'd like to talk about too, but we'll talk to that before we get to the deadline. I still think we should get Tyler Huntley in, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen
Brady.
I've seen Matt Ryan get thrown around there as well, because he's been benched. Like, is he someone that, like, so there's a bit of movement. Yeah, but it was interesting that Tevin Coleman was cut today, and what the corresponding move is, because I haven't read, and they may have, but if Jason Verrett is not activated from the PUP list tomorrow, then that's it for the year. My understanding is, so I expect something to happen tomorrow for him, and that will be that spot.
And then there was a three-way trade scenario where Jimmy goes back. No, Jimmy
goes to the Patriots, is it?
Jimmy goes to the Patriots. Mac Jones goes to the Bucks, and we get Tom.
And Tom Brady comes back to finish off here.
I say yes, please.
Stranger things, mate. Stranger things. You never
yes, know. Please. That would say we're going all in. Anyway, what tonight we're going to discuss is hopefully, and we haven't done any rehearsal for this. And again, we're Australians, so we don't have all the verbiage and the vernacular to go with some of the coverage that we're going to be talking about. But we, it's what goes wrong on third and long. Increasingly, we've seen across the seasons our defense getting burnt on third and long, and we seem to get the opposing offense into a place where, okay, we're going to get a stop here, we're going to get the ball back, especially on a situation when we get to our second one that we're going to look at. But so there's three instances. The first one is the one where we have preceding play is there was an incomplete pass in the third quarter. I'll just bring up the banner so we can see exactly where we are. So third quarter, it's 4:21, 3rd and 20. All right, so let's just...
You've got them exactly where you want them. Like in football terms, this is exactly where you want to have your opposition.
Exactly.
With buffer room to spare.
That's right. When we're on the San Francisco 38-yard line. Okay, so let's have a couple of looks at this, mate. We'll make this big. We'll make us small. Okay, here we go. So it's he's in shotgun, nearly an empty set.
Now, is this a base package? Is that that's three? Is that three linebackers that we've got?
So
there?
look at this is.
So we've got the two safeties, the two corners, and if that's three linebackers, I'm not sure whether the guy closest on Bosa's side down there is a nickel cornerback. Potentially that is, and they're in.
He is. He's that's your nickel down there.
We're in a nickel package, so we've got an extra DB on the field.
Yep.
In this situation, so yeah, we'll see what happens here.
So you can see Jimmy Ward up the back there, up here. See Afunga down here. We've got Demo. Is it Demo down here?
Diminal. Yeah, Diminal.
We've got Shavarius up here. Fred, nickel, I think would be. Who's the nickel?
Is it Womack?
Womack.
So we've got a rookie.
And so we've got a rookie. Okay, so you can see their formation. We've got Kelsey out here. He's nearly in front. And I'm thinking Jerrick McKinnon is going to be here or here. I think Jerrick McKinnon's here. Yeah. All right, let's have a look. So we're in, it's almost man. It's like almost man nickel. But it's a little bit soft.
Yeah, we're definitely in a nickel package here.
That little screen pass. Boom, boom, boom. 3rd and 20 turns into that. So let's go have a look at the other angle. All right. So
McKinnon is lined up on the left here.
McKinnon is lined up on the left, and we've got there's the nickel. He's still the middle. Or is he gone into outside? Is Fred gone into outside?
Potentially. And is that 45 is Demetrius Flanagan fouls?
That's right.
So again, we're probably we're not. There's no Dre Greenlaw on the field, and obviously we're missing Aziz Al Shair.
Yeah, so
the injury at the moment.
It's not the greatest coverage we've got, but there's a bit of chat going on here with.
Funga's directing something. He thinks something's happening on the other side of the field.
There's something happening here. Let's have a look at this.
I've missed that. That's gone through yet.
Yeah, so I think there's confusion from the beginning. All right.
Fred Warner's like everything's on Kelsey.
Yeah.
So you can see Fred Warner is like, I'm right. I've got Kelsey. That's my assignment. Talanoa was looking out the other way, but now he's found himself. Okay, they've probably used, and this is what they've done. Like teams can do. They can use the overzealous nature of the defensive line, particularly Bosa, against him here at the moment. So all they're looking for him is just to come a free rush at him and go, yeah, no worries, I'm just going to dink this over your head.
And that's been the talk this week. Is it's been the aggressiveness of our defense not getting the job done. So. They can definitely be used against us. Like it's a factor that can be positively influenced, but that can also be very negatively if you play the right way. Well, you can see how you're exactly right on the Kelsey thing, because you can see Abacam all the way over here. He's looking at getting to, he's waited
to Mahomes. He's got no chance.
Yeah, he's not going to get to Mahomes. Drake Jackson's got the closest to anyone, right? And so this little screen pass goes over.
Yeah, Womack's got no chance against an offensive lineman.
No, look at that. Womack's gone. Steps inside. There goes Flanagan Foles.
I'd say 20. Lenore takes a very bad angle here. Like if you can go back there, here that angle, like he's coming at a point of direction that's never going to get to McKinnon, and it only puts him in traffic's way. So he's outside of the frame here at the moment. That's Womack there, but you're looking for Lenore outside of the frame here. The poor angle.
Here he comes
that he takes there. Like he's Jet. Like he's like you've just done nothing. You just opened up a hole for him.
He should have. Why did he?
I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but it just seems like a bad angle.
This is the thing. If it's come straight at him, go wide, mate. You should be going.
And then it's left for Gibson as the safety to come across to try to clean it up. But by then, it's all too late.
Yeah, let's have a look. So this is the previous one, right? Incomplete pass, nearly intercepted.
Yeah.
Back to our coverage. So there's that bit where it's almost like...
Is it Lenore? I might be wrong. It might not be Lenore. It might be Thomas, Ambry Thomas in 20.
Yeah, it could be.
It's one of our. I mean, we're in a situation here we're in a situation here where we've got Lenore and Tom. We've got Lenore and Thomas at starting cornerback here at the moment. Like Mosley's not on the field. Yeah, sorry. Mooney Ward is not on the field.
Yeah, he's over here.
Is he? Okay, 7. So we've got 38 and 20.
Covering JuJu.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Lenore might be in the slot.
Yeah, he could be the nickel.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look. So I just want to watch him. What's 20? Did he get touched then by that? Oh, it does. Guess it doesn't matter. But what we're seeing, I think, if we're just seeing some confusion.
I want to keep my eyes on Hufanga. What Hufanga does? He's coming down. Oh, mate, you're in trouble because you've got an offensive lineman.
Who got him at the end there? 31.
Gibson.
Yeah, maybe Jerrick wasn't on the field.
Yeah, I didn't see his number. That was all. That was maybe sort of, oh, maybe he's not on the field, which is strange on a big third down kind of thing, like an opportunity to get him off the field, which they hadn't done every single previous possession that the Chiefs had had. Like there's a chance.
The next
anyway, but that's just an example of their overzealousness. To attack the ball. As opposed to sort of we've got a little bit of play recognition here, is that they've got big men in space covering the screen. How can we readjust and maybe not take as aggressive cuts to the ball and try to sort of shut this thing down in that 20-yard space that they had?
Sorry, continue that.
No, just the fact that they were 3rd and 20, it's like, you can probably play a little bit more play recognition as opposed to hunting ball as hard and fast as you can, because you've got 20 yards to stop them.
So that's the thing right there, right? So they're just, and it's mostly a rookie lineup, and they've all just, I've got to get to the ball, got to get to the ball, got to get to the ball. Whereas, let's just take stock, because we've got them at 2. It's 3rd and 20. Let's leave it a little bit. I mean, they should have gone softer. Anyway, here we are so we're back in the 4th quarter here. 12:54 on the clock, 3rd and 11. So the preceding 2 plays to this one, as we remember, incomplete pass. No, Bosa sacks someone. Sacks Mahomes for a 6-yard loss, and then tackles him to the point, and that's when it was 2nd and 16. Tackles for not for a loss, but it's now 3rd and 11, right? So let's just have a look at what
now. And this is the big play in the game for me, because as I said the other night, like as bad as we were playing defensively, this is still 28-23. Kittle's just scored. This is the next possession. We've got them in a 3rd and long situation. Like, we're back in the game, and this is the moment you're going, okay, as bad as we have played, this is where we can turn it around. Like, if we can stop them here and make them punt, we're a possession away from taking the lead.
And you can see, so they've got like a 4-3 or they've got a split. They've got
they're stacking
a split
defensive line on one side. Yeah,
you got Fred sort of saying, it's almost like come down a little bit. Let's just go and see what happens here. Just see a couple of little movements.
We're too high in the safety, are we?
Yeah, too high. We've got Jerrick Ward down here. Funga. It's not even Ward on the field. So again, there's a few rookies on, right?
Could be Gibson.
So stop there. All right. So let's look at so Kelsey's down here. you've got someone already beat down here, so he's been beat.
But
so you can see what.
And Mooney Ward's down the bottom, I think. Mooney Ward's down here on as left cornerback. He's on man. There's another man there that's coming, but it's the nickel cornerback that's he had him low by him. But that might not be his assignment. It might be Hufunga's assignment here at this point, and he might just be trying to chick him at that point and then take the underneath pass away.
Well, that looks like Jimmy Ward as nickel.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we'll see. Yeah, definitely looks that way. But if Ward's assignment is to take the guy coming out from the line of scrimmage there, just there for the underneath pass or the check down.
But you can see beautifully,
and the Funga's going over the top.
Yeah, you can see beautifully Mahomes looking off. You can see it's almost like maybe it might be a little check down, because we know in these situations might go for a little check down just to get the yards so we can get a better punting position. But now look what, so, and we've got.
We'll see if that influences Hufunga there, because I don't necessarily think Hufunga is that kind of I know they're not in single high there, but he's not that kind of guy that you probably want covering deep in the backfield. He's more that kind of in the box, doing what he does best. So
plenty of time, and their offensive lines, look, I don't know why they line up. It was almost like a 1 and 3. Anyway, look at that. That is money. Let's just go back to that, and I want to see.
It's actually Mooney Ward not being able to stick with his the wide receiver.
He was injured.
Yeah, he definitely was not moving like we've seen him move in the first 6 weeks of the competition.
So here we go. Bang.
Look at that.
There he is there. Hufunga's not moved, right? This man.
But you can see the concept here is the other wide receiver who's now locked in with Hufunga is to drag Hufunga across to the other side of the field so that it's a true one-on-one.
Yeah, that's right.
Here you go up for it. Let's go 50-50 ball. But he doesn't. It's at this point in time, Mooney Ward's in trouble, and it's not 50-50 anymore. It's 85-15.
It was a little bit underthrown too.
Yeah.
But he got to him so quick. Let's have a look from the other angle. Okay, so again, Flanagan Foles. Who's 31? Is that Gibson?
Gibson, yeah.
That's Gibson. I just want to see the protection. So he tries to go inside. He's got 2 on him. Jackson tries to take the outside, and then you got 2. I don't know why they lined that front up against that. He's got so much time.
Well, there's a little twist, stunt there, like Jackson's going to the outside.
Yeah,
but it's just that he had enough. He didn't need all that time.
Here we go. Oh no, it's the next play. This is when he scores. Didn't score. So again,
super frustrating. But then there are elements of you. This is what Patrick Mahomes does. This is what Andy Reid does. You probably have to plan for that.
This is the thing, right? He's got a big arm. What does D'Amico do here, right? So I'm not a defensive coordinator, but on 3rd and 11, I'm trying to get to the quarterback. I don't know. I don't understand this front here. If I'm trying to get to the quarterback, why wouldn't he run a blitz here?
Well, yeah, he's not sending a 5th player down. It's just about the front 4, get home front 4. The rest of you cover.
Yeah, and they've done a shitty job in covering. Look at this. Beats him. Yeah, Hufunga takes that other wide receiver. I think it's probably JuJu, because that's Scantling, MVS.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to know what the assignment was on the other players outside of Mooney Ward, for the safety or protection, because Jimmy, I don't know what Jimmy Ward is just in no man's land. It really
I don't know.
It seems like he's playing out of position. Like it does honestly felt like Jimmy Ward is in the nickel. And like maybe they did that because of injury. Maybe they thought that we can't put him back there that deep. Like you obviously having a club on your hand, like we all know that when you're running, your arms are forming up to sort of 30% of your run power. Having a club on your arm probably slows it. He's not going to be running at top speed. And maybe they just thought you don't have the wheels at that point with that on you to be able to cover, and nor do you have the ability to get a hand up there. So we're going to put you in the nickel and let you play down closer to the line. But yeah, I mean, I think I know we didn't want to point the finger at injury, and I certainly didn't want to the other night. But there was some telling signs that you're like, when the trend, or when you look at players and you say that this is the way that you normally play, and that's pretty consistent with what we see over weeks and weeks and weeks, and then you get to a game like this. And they didn't perform, it really does for me put this kind of performance, particularly those third and longs, and just I guess the whole idea of them driving and scoring virtually on every play it's an outlier. I heard a stat that of something like since 2000 of the 367 games or something that was played, that this was in terms of metrics, this was the 366th worst game that had ever been played by the 49ers defensively.
Wow.
Like, and that's why there's almost like, there's an element of where you've got to go, and be frustrated with the performance, but there's also an element where you go in terms of data. And if you you don't just look at that one game. It's an outlier that sits well outside of what this team can actually do. And if all of the factors are around health and around, I don't know what other factors you could incorporate into it. It should sort of, I guess, point the direction that it wasn't a true reflection of what this team is, or what we've known it to be this season and in seasons previous.
I just think Andy Reid's a bit of a genius, because you look at the play before this. So this is 3rd and 6, right? Before this, it was second and 20 before this. But what he's done, he's thrown a screen pass to JuJu, and then he's to JuJu.
Oh, in the previous, yep.
Yeah, and then he's used JuJu again here. The interesting thing about this one is you'll see a little stunt that, because obviously, so if we go to our defense, right, we're blitzing, right? Because
we're showing blitz. We're definitely showing blitz.
Definitely showing blitz. He's gone late. Last time we had you at bloody 3rd and 11, you killed us down the line. So we're gonna blitz. We're gonna pressure you and see what happens. But there's a little stun here. So let's just have a look at it, and you'll see there's a nice little crossover route that JuJu does with Kelsey. Busted. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Just watch that again. So that's the little screen pass. But just watch Kelsey. Watch Kelsey go up the seam. It's going up the seam. He spins around. No, it lets him get it. So who's not taking their assignment there? Let's just go back and have a quick look at it. Who's not taking?
Well, that's almost like an old, and almost like that, like what they call a rub route, where you're running the route, but you're really running a
decoy. So we've gone. So Kelsey's up
he's
there.
He's just shadowing him.
Yeah, he's shadowing him. We've got one high up here now. We've got probably Jimmy Warner.
Let's just look. Fred Warner. What's Fred Warner's role here? If he's on Kelsey,
he's got to stay on Kelsey.
He should be staying deeper.
Way deeper.
Is it the safety? Is it our safety here who looks like he's single? Like he's the only one there. He's single high. Is it his job to be coming down harder on a potential pass?
Well, Fred's up. They're showing blitz, right? So Fred's thought, and they haven't blitzed. I think that's the problem. I think they've just been outsmarted. So
he drops into cover. He goes, "No, I'm coming out.
So he's trying to rob.
And then who's the safety here who doesn't end up getting there? 31. So Gibson, is it his job to attack the ball? Watch Gibson. Is it Gibson's job to attack the ball more here? here, come up, but he went across. Like he's just floating. He's just floating here between the 20 and 25 yard line, not making any contribution.
You know why? But look at Kelsey's hand up in the air saying, "Give me the ball, give me the ball."
Yeah. Warner himself is in no man's land. Like he's not going to make it.
Warner doesn't know what's going on. Didn't have a good game on the weekend, old Warner.
No, he kind of got put on skates, didn't he? He was. They nullified him, like they nullified the player that Fred Warner is, and I think there's going to be a lot of. I imagine there's going to be a lot of teaching this week with the players around assignments and what that looks like, and using the film as a teaching moment. I love what Brian is it Brian Peacock?
Yeah.
And Eric Crocker were talking about on Locked On 49. It's just giving reference to the fact that there's a lot of change in this coaching staff.
Well, like it's a totally new coaching staff.
Yeah. So how much is Kyle Shanahan having to coach the coaches?
Well, this is the thing,
teach up the coaches, and is that taking him away from what he does as the players? Obviously, the Mike McDaniel loss is obviously going to has an effect on him. I think it's had a huge effect on what he did.
I think it's had a massive effect.
He was with him for 14 years. Like one, you can't have that change and not have loss. I think they'll get better. I think they're a good coaching staff that will get better, and they will learn from things like this. Like that's how you want to kind of see people respond. If you've got the fortitude to be a coach, then you should be using moments of disaster to learn from and build from. But I do think that's probably that is, and I agree with what was getting said on some of the other podcasts around that there is a bit of there is a bit of the element of what we're seeing, that feeling of like you guys look disorganized, you look undercoached, like you look like you don't actually know that. Is there a fair bit of having to coach coaches that's taking away from the player?
Even last year, our discipline was really bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and discipline is I think is separate to preparation. I mean, I know it's the same in terms of preparation. I think the discipline stuff is something that anyone should be able to ram home and go, you just can't have that. But it seems to keep on happening, which is very frustrating. It's very frustrating.
But it's almost like the O-line, the Kansas O-line knew they weren't going to blitz because just watch Fred here. It's
it felt like it feels like that moment when as a coach yourself, if you're getting out coached by somebody and they're kind of outsmarting you in what they're doing, it's incredibly frustrating. And if you don't have the answers, it's like quicksand. The more you try and fight, the deeper you're going down.
Oh, I mean, what do you think? Let's do it that way. Wow, what's it doing here? Let's get back to that. Let's think of the big lessons that's been taken out from this week. I guess they'll look. We can't. It is what it is. Injuries. That they're a little bit aggressive on getting to the ball.
I think there's the aggressiveness is also to me about there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And if you're being over arrogant or you're not sticking to your assignment, because that's what I feel like. I just feel like people are in the wrong position, and I can't imagine that they've been coached to be in the wrong position because I hadn't seen it in the previous from this defense. I hadn't seen it for the weeks beforehand. It started to trickle in the game against the Falcons, and then here it was just a real blowout. Is this? I'm really hoping that it's the reality check, because if it's about arrogance and overconfidence that kind of, I don't need to stick to the assignment that's been told to me, because I can sort of see what's in front of me and I'm going to make a play for me, and I'm going to do it for me because I can do it, because I've shown that I can do it. Then you're the sum of all the parts. And if you are part of the cog and your part ain't working, the cog's not going to work.
Speaking of which, look at Hufanga there, just down on the bottom right-hand side. He just, it's almost like he's standing still and he's waiting
for what's coming. Like something's coming. I don't know.
I don't think he knows what's going on. If you look at, there's no way that Bosa is getting to the quarterback. Look what's in front of him. He's got Drake Jackson's going to take out that guard. Then you've got the left tackle. And then you've got, I think it's probably Jerrick McKinnon right next to.
Yeah.
So let's just let that play a little bit and see what happens. See what Bosa. Just watch Bosa for a sec. Yeah. Oh, that was a bit of head to the
hands to the face.
Hands to the face. That wasn't picked up. Anyway, we can talk about this till we're blue in the face. But I guess what I wanted to bring to attention, I'll just get this out of there, mate. For us, as a learning experience, just as guys who are trying to find out ways in which our D can become better and how they can improve on the third and long scenarios. But I think it really comes down to that the thing that you said, Jono, around it was an outlier of a game. Like he was almost perfect, Patrick Mahomes. But the fact still remains that our third and long propositions aren't that great.
And that's a trend. Like that's a trend that's gone for many years now.
For many years. And the thing too is that I think you bang on, John, talking about it. This being a week where if Kyle is the genius that everyone says he is, uses this game as a template of how to coach his whole new coaching staff. And
just the pitfalls of like if you got to analyze the week that was in the lead up and go, well, what happened? What happened in that week, and go, well, we can't have those kind of things that occurred, and whether that's behind closed doors, in terms of what they can unpick from that, because the product on the field, I mean, you can't see that because that's behind closed doors and at training and stuff like that. But the product on the field, you can see that they were off the pace and they weren't able to adapt. And I think, we talk about adaptation as being one of the probably weaker things from Kyle Shanahan, the ability to see what's in front of him and pivot and move and adapt and to come up with a new plan, particularly with the attack. But this time was probably the first time that I've seen the defense not being able to make an adaptation, which again sits in the under the category of outlier.
Yeah, D'Amico's always been pretty good at reading what's happening and working with Fred to make sure that the same mistakes don't happen over and over again. But we saw with this game the same mistakes were being made, and people like David Lombardi, who was obviously carries the water for Kyle and Jimmy, was really about putting the blame on the D. But the defense was really, really poor. But again, you had those little moments after the game where George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk are talking about, we've got these players, but we're not getting the ball to them. We're not helping them execute. And I think that was a shot at Kyle
or Jimmy or both.
Yeah,
it was definitely a shot at either Kyle that's calling the plays and Jimmy can't get it to him, or Kyle's not letting Jimmy get the balls to the people that we believe that he should do, or it's both.
I think it's both. I think it's a combination of both. I think it's probably 60-40, 60 Kyle, 40 Jimmy. Mate, it's getting late back here over in Sydney. Probably, for you early rising in San Francisco, probably getting out for a jog or something like that. I don't know what you do over there. But we...
Crunch film, mate. Crunch film, probably.
Crunch film, exactly. We're gonna hit the hay. Thank you very much for watching. Jono, thank you very much for your insights, mate. Thank you. We'll be back on... When are you back? Are you back for Best Bets?
Yeah. I'll be we can do our preview on our Friday night here in Australia, and then we'll do our Best Bets on the Saturday. And
did I tell you that I had a go at the Bears on Monday Night Football?
Yes, I saw that.
$4.15.
Good.
Yeah,
mate.
I thought
sometimes you just get a feeling, don't you?
Yeah, you do. I thought Justin was going to come good at some stage, and he did. There's some upside, and this is the thing. Imagine if Trey had played last year.
Yeah,
it's killing me, this whole Trey Lance thing. But anyway, it is what it is. Mate, I will see you tomorrow. I'll speak to you tomorrow, but we'll see each other on the channel.
On the preview.
Thanks, mate.
No worries, mate. Go the Niners.
Go the Niners.